All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with more Korean Starleague. We've got the finals here. Looks like they may have adjusted the number of games that they play for these, because I know that they've been moving their schedule around the GSL. So I'm no longer certain if it's a best of 3 or 5, but I do get dummy replays. I just wasn't sure, honestly, if the format had been changed to accommodate for GSL. Normally this is on Friday nights. They actually moved it to Saturday night because of GSL, and they had pretty low participation for the previous week's tournament because, you know, GSL is back and it's live, and that's amazing. That's great. I think I can speak for all of us when I say we all missed GSL being offline. But that, of course, means other Korean tournaments have to adjust their schedules, their timings, their lengths. You want these guys to participate and not be afraid of having their builds leaked and stuff, so you do what you can. In the bottom right, we have the blue Terran player. He's Cure. Going command center first against this man in the top left. The red Zerg player, he is Dark. And I always have to say his name like that because it just, you know, makes me... Maybe Pig has stopped saying Dark's name like he is, I don't think there's an appropriate way for me to really describe it. You know, Pig makes some interesting sounds when he's talking about pro Zergs. But even if he stopped doing it, the good memories I have of those moments is probably the reason I have to reference it forever until the day I die. So just deal with that. Just deal with that. One day I'll be 65 years old. I'll probably be in a hermetically sealed crate somewhere, plugged into an AI pod, just living as a digital version of myself in my 20s, and I'll still be making jokes about Pig, even after he's been cybernetically augmented into a android. I don't know. I don't know what kind of robot Pig would be. Probably just a streamer still, honestly. Guy already does like week-long subathons. Just probably run the first ever 365, right? It just never stops. Once he no longer needs to sleep. I figured that's what all the labs in his basement are for, right? But command center first against Zerg. That's always fun to see. We kind of had a whole meta evolve just from Terrans doing this too much. Like Zerg players were all like, no, we're going to start doing pool first. We're going to get really aggressive. We're going to do a lot of lings early on. So you can't just get away with this. Now, Dark, his first scout is going to be seeing the factory at the edge of Cure's base. That's a weird place to build a factory. Most Terrans wall off. It makes you feel like he wants to hide it. Dark is trying to keep his overlord far enough away that Cure's SCV won't see it. So he doesn't know that he's been scouted. And these two lings come up into the main base. There's nothing actually here, just two Marines popping out of the barracks. So he can kind of determine, okay, this was a command center first. He's already got his orbital done. There's nothing else there, just two Marines. So he probably went command center first, double gas after 2 racks, and that is what we have here. So he can go straight into stim and do a 2-1-1 out of the CC first. Very strong build. The time it takes to turn into an orbital command is about the same build time of 2 SCVs, 2.5. So when you make that transformation, getting it done as early as possible gives you the least amount of lost time to build workers. Either that, or you try to saturate your base before you turn into an orbital, which is considered a psychopath move by most, since obviously mules give you more than 2 SCVs worth of income. The mules give you like 3.5 SCVs worth of income. So you would still typically want to have it, but you just don't have as many SCVs. So going command center first is a great build because it allows you to get so many more workers than you normally do. And that's why I like it. You get both orbitals out of the way extremely fast, and then your command center just gets to build forever. So it can help you really power up to a great economy. And this is going to be a very fast 2-1-1 like we talked about. No upgrades, just stim. And a little bit of a wall off getting set back up on the way home. I don't think that's a wall, though. Yeah, he should be able to get through there. So he could put the bunker on the final hex to close it off. But he doesn't have to. It's going to be a depot. And that makes sense. There's nothing really unreasonable there. Marines are going to move out. Medevacs are in tow. Dark made a lot of roaches in his series against Gumiho. Cure kind of mixed it up. We saw Cure do the Reaper build. I guess we've already seen Cure do CC first now. He's going to take a third behind it, but the Ling, I think he saw both Medevacs move out. So how is Dark going to respond? Medevacs are headed to the southwest. We've got some Lings prepared, fully saturated third base, just 1 queen. couple of creep tumors. Where does Cure unload? Is he going to try and take down the front? It's looking like it. It's looking like he wants that the front of the natural, clear out the creep between the two bases. Dark has not actually tried to get his fourth base yet, though. So he's playing this one very defensively. He's building a lot of units. He's getting that Roach Warren. So we may see Dark try and swallow this army if Cure overextends and then go for a big counter. But I think he respects Cure enough to know that what Cure is probably going to do, play around with the drops, maybe, you know, do a little tappy toes, little footsies with the main base, little drop in, kill an Overlord, drop out. There's no fourth base to cancel yet. So he's mostly just waiting for that. And it is about to start. Oh my God. Oh, he's going to see it right as it begins. No, drone turns around in the nick of time. So he saves himself from having to cancel the base, but he also, I mean, he's got 3 medevacs of bio just chilling outside of his main, and that is not an easy thing to deal with. There's no spore. The queens are all positioned in the natural, so it looks like there might be an opportunity for him to get something done with all these stim marines. There's no baneling nest, and the roaches are still not out yet. This is his moment right now. But the roaches are coming out, so I think the moment is going away. It is going away. There was an opportunity to try and get that drop, but Dark manages to take very little damage while securing the southwest hatchery. So I guess you could argue, you could try to argue that this base is going to make it so he's really stretched north to south. So Cure should be able to leave all these units up here and just load up 2 more medevacs and go to the bottom. And I think that would probably be one of the stronger moves that he could make. Dark has to just run up and down this ramp, so he's stretched vertically. But the thing is, if Cure just goes to the bottom, now you see Dark, he's actually, oh, the Ling's gonna see it. Yeah, he sees the medevacs have moved, so he knows, okay, well, now I just bring everything to the bottom. And the third base, Cure's third, there's actually nothing there. His tanks are sieged in the natural. There's no bunker here, so he takes a little bit of a nibble and then pulls back. Cure somehow actually does just go all the way to this hatchery and kill it, by the way. So I talk about being vertically stretched. Sending those Lings for the third run by might have been the big mistake from Dark. So now we have a 3-base Terran versus a 3-base Zerg. That's a very hard spot for Zerg to play out of. But he is going into Baneling Nest, Infestation Pit, Ravagers, 2-2 upgrades. 1-1 is only just about to finish for Cure. His armory lines up, so he can go into 2-2 pretty quickly, but I don't think Dark is out of this by any means. He is supply blocked. He's Shadow Realm supply blocked. Oh, the biles! He is at 154, no Overlords in production. You guys ready for it? You're going to see him start like 7 Overlords at once, probably. It's what I'm going to guess. He's going to spend every dollar he has on more. 1 Overlord's not going to cut it here. I don't see it. I don't see it. So that supply block's actually pretty brutal for Dark then. He's got another drop inside of his main to deal with. There's another drop headed towards the bottom side. There's 2 more Overlords. As he's realizing he can't make units. He's realizing that you need to be able to make units to win the game. That's a big one. And that's not a diss on Dark. Cure's just kind of been whacking him from both sides. Hitting him in the north, hitting him in the south. That triangle base is so nice because you can just run around these 3 spots, right? Well, his patrolling Lings actually blocked him. The Lings on patrol blocked the hatch from starting. See, that is actually also brutal because now, once again, it's just down to this bottom left base. So Dark, in a weird turn of events, is just not able to do what he wants to do. The counterattack did very little. And Cure is just waiting for like a base trade. Cure is looking at the game state and thinking to himself, I don't need anything other than drops forever. And I can just build up these tanks at home, get my upgrades, take a 4th base, and then go for a huge push with 2-2. And his 2-2 is halfway done. So that's still on the table. Banes are going to shove back some of those bio units, but what we saw work really well against Gumiho's tank lines. And one of the things Dark does really well, aside from keeping his units spread out to deal with these drops, he's got Vipers. Vipers are going to be on the way. So Blinding Cloud on tanks, sometimes that is all you need to catch a dub. So these tanks, they're going through traffic here. Those supply depots kind of blocking things. Overlord can see the drop moving in on the north side. What's here on the south? Not much creep spread. A couple of Banelings. No Bane speed. Cure is just going to take the fight. The tanks in the back not able to siege, but that doesn't enable them to dodge the biles. And all the Banelings are gone. So I think you want to just siege the tanks on top of this ramp. That's where you want to be. So So Dark recognizes that he absolutely has to take this fight. He cannot let Cure just load up there. And he does pick everything up. That base gets canceled one more time. And Cure is really just, again, we talk about it. The map has been stretched vertically. He has to run so far from corner to corner to protect these bases. That is what makes it so difficult. That is what makes it so difficult for Dark, is that he doesn't have some big army that can just completely smash one side or completely lock it down. It's Marine tank. It's the bread and butter of Terran. It's one of the most powerful army compositions in the game. It's not really gimmicky enough to just abuse any particular aspect of it. He's stepping forward with the Marines. He's leaving the tanks off creep, spread out. Even if he came in with Biles, you know, I'm not sure it would get the work done. I'm still thinking about the Gumiho siege up earlier. So we did have some Liberators come over to the main. That's kind of cute. They were like supporting the drop, but there's still a lot of Queens, so... Cure's gonna try and move over to the southwest base one more time. The Vipers are gonna come in and flank. He says, oh, I'm zoning the Vipers away, so he uses Bile, the parasitic bomb, onto the medevacs, and that's just gonna make it so he has to move that medevac away from the rest of the units so they don't take too much damage. Everything else has been cleared out, though. You've just got Marines fighting Ravagers. Very good fight there for Cure. He got the deny one more time in the northeast. Still has this huge bio ball, but Dark's got some money. Oh, that Liberator. How about this? How about them apples? He's gonna have to abduct that one. Yoink. Humiliation. I'm still thinking about Dark Nidus and Gumiho. I don't think there is a Nidus network, right? But it would be cool if there was. Sure be cool if there was. I would bring these medevacs back to repair too. One parasitic bomb could kill all of them, actually. They are low enough health now that one parasitic bomb could kill every medevac. The Liberators come back over to siege Zemain while he pushes the bottom left. And this is what you'd love to see. It's that vertical stretch. One more time, baby. Say it with me, chat. Vertical stretch. It's your favorite. It's the word of the day. Word of the game. Nathan, you saying the word stretch over and over again makes me and my wife uncomfortable. Thank you, guy in chat. I got you. I got you. +3 Carapace is coming in, +3 melee, chitinous plating, so there's going to be some big dummy thick Ultralisks. Now, they have not reached full dummy thick level yet, but as we talked about earlier, most of the tanks have been kept in the natural to defend. There is a fourth base, so this third, he can kind of afford to give it up, but only because he's done so much damage with the drops on the other side. It's a very scrappy game. For a final, you can't ask too much more out of a game one than this. I really don't think that you can. There's Marines inside the natural. Looks like you got through the rest of the Queens there. The Marines are still pushing the bottom left. They're going to get forced to lift up by the Ultralisks. One Marine gets saved by this medevac as the Ravagers and Banes came back, but he lands at third base one more time, goes to take the gas there once again, and is now also beginning to turn the fourth base into a planetary fortress. 4 ghosts being produced. And you guys can see that there's a lot of effort that goes into casting Cure play this game and Dark, because they're both very fast. At no point do we have 2 minutes for me to talk about my favorite kind of rock in this game, and that might be a good thing. That might be a good thing, because if we had to talk about my favorite kind of rock, I'd probably give a non-answer, like my favorite type of gem or jewel, since they're basically in rocks. I mean, it's a pretty fair argument. The same place you find rocks, you find almost everything, right? Don't we just dig everything out of the ground anyway? So emeralds are my favorite rocks. There you go. Now you know. Why emeralds? I don't know. Because they're beautiful. That's why. Don't at me. My birthstone is a ruby, though, so it's not related. I just like how emeralds look. I just like that green. I like that green. What can I say? Now, if we had a teal-looking jewel, like Brood War Terran teal, that would probably be my favorite rock. So Dark does have the fully upgraded Ultras now. It's worth pointing out he didn't have the speed upgrade for the first fight, which makes them much harder to use. Look at that. Landed Viking fighting Ultralisk, too. Ah, gotta love that Heart of the Swarm cutscene that has literally never happened in the entire history of the game. So big spread. I think the tanks need to be more spread out. Like, Corrosive Bile could definitely do damage. Oh, he doesn't realize there's ghosts. Ah, the Ultralisks just got deleted. Oh my god. I just watched Yami Yumi lock the Ultralisks inside of a piece of jewelry. That's fascinating. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's just Ravager Bane now. I'd move the tanks up, bro. Move the tanks up. You're good. Don't get fungal. Oh, no. Well, that was a pretty sick fungal. That was a pretty... Look, just because I play Terran doesn't mean I can't enjoy when other people make good plays. Gonna snipe the infestor. This poor base, man. This base right here has been like the bane of the game. Ultralisks come in. They're gonna deny the third base here one more time. One cloaked ghosty boy. Oh, they're gonna snip, snip, snip. Yeah, Ultralisks absolutely get wrecked by ghosts big time. So this base has been destroyed for like maybe the 20th time this game. I've lost track, honestly. There are infestors alone in Cure's base. That makes me nervous. None of they all have energy for a fungal, so it could be like a reverse bait. I don't know. It's like dive on my infestors, but then you realize that there's a platform hidden inside the floor that you step on, and it opens and you just fall into a pit of lava. Yeah, they didn't give Zerg the pit of lava trap though in this game. It's a shame. Maybe StarCraft 3. I'd like Zerg to have a pit of lava option, mostly because it wouldn't make sense, you know. Then I could go on the internet and argue with people about why it does make sense for no reason for hours every day. I didn't say I was a good person. I just like StarCraft. Lots of tanks, lots of ghosts. I mean, this right here, this is peak Terran performance. This is what you expect. This is like a pretty good army. I think the only thing he's missing are Liberators. He's building Vikings because I guess he's scared of Broodlords, but honestly, I think this army would die to Broodlords no matter how many Vikings he tried to add to it. So I would just say get Liberators to zone. You want Liberators to keep the infestors away. You want Liberators to keep everything away. You want Liberators because they're kind of hard to deal with. So I don't know about the Vikings, but I'm also not Cure. And if you put me in a saw trap and told me I had to beat him once out of 100 games to live, I would just ask Jigsaw to flip the switch and blow me up right then and there. No hope at all for me. But a big fungal on all the ghosts. Wow, I've never seen ghosts run forward to avoid the bile like that. That could have been so much worse. It should have been so much worse. This base always becomes a very contested hotspot, though. We've got Dark trying to inch his way forward. He is trying to get all up in there. And with the tanks on the high ground spread, I think what you do is you send a couple of Marauders forward, try to yeet them onto an infestor or two, maybe. But look at this counterattack. At the same time, we have one Liberator and a tank on the planetary trying to hold it down. For Cure, that northeast base is gone. Bottom left base has been picked off. Looks like some of the Vipers are actually going to get grabbed by the Vikings as well. Huge amounts of tech units being ripped apart. Does get Ultralisk with the Liberator. Gets both Ultralisks with the Liberator. That should help, but there's 3 more. Oh, a 4th. Yeah, no, this base is super dead. So he finally does have his 3rd mining, right? But everything on the back end, close the door, shut it down. And this game just continues to stay insane. Dark finally took the base of Destiny once more. If he can hold on to it, then I suppose anything's possible. But this is still a very, very scary Terran army to deal with. As Cure continues to spread that siege line. Looks like we've got about 8 tanks. Or 7 with this. Sorry, the 8th one is on the cliff behind. Does get another fungal onto the medevacs. Most of them go down. He's only moving forward with about 20-30 supply at a time, and he says, oh, you're out of fungals. I'm going to come here and snipe. He's not out of fungals, by the way. These were very adventurous snipes, but he does get them all. Gets a huge amount of damage. Picks off the majority of this army. It has been clamped down on, but if you look, Cure is no longer mining. He doesn't have any income. There's 1 mineral patch in his main base, and that's it. Look at the income tab. Look at it. Oh, Batman. Yeah, he's got no money. Unlike Batman, who has a lot of money, apparently. I don't think we've ever really been able to see his books. That one guy kind of talks about it in The Dark Knight, but I think Morgan Freeman kind of threatens to kill him, right? It's kind of messed up, honestly. You know, they could have just like paid him off or had him join the team. Clearly he was a smart guy, right? Now this is where I would say break the rock tower and just limit the amount of angles that they can come at you from. But that's just my little Terran heart fantasizing too much. Dark's army is very scary, but it's not fully realized and it's not maxed out. He does have Neural. Is he going to try and mind control the tanks from behind? Yep, there we go. Okay. So he mind controlled the tank. He got scanned and instantly died. He's gonna go for this one from behind. The scan misses. He's using the tank to kill the other tanks. Oh, he got Cure to kill his own tank. Oh, this is just filthy. Another one. I would have tried to neural parasite the ghost and then EMP the other ghosts. But I'm also bad at the game, so it wouldn't have worked anyway. Now, this is a lot of Ultralisks for a small choke point, though. Everything we're like... Oh, there we go. Oh, he gets the ghost. Oh, yeah. Oh, he snipes. Oh, oh, he got sniped by his own man. For the swarm. And then he runs it into him. Oh, beautiful. You'll love to see it. Now, see, that's dark. That's some 700 IQ. Oh, he gets another one. Oh, he's sniping. I can't. Oh, oh no, he's got the tank. Wow. Is this the best value out of Neural Parasite I've seen in a pro game ever? Maybe. It might actually be. I mean, Cure has no money. Dark has a little money and not really the position that he needs. He just keeps mind controlling the tanks. There's too many of them, though. That's the problem. He needs to mind control like 3 siege tanks at once. That's his hope. That's really the only move he has. There's also no detection here to deal with these ghosts, so they can just kind of kill everything on their own. I'm gonna guess. I feel like Dark. Oh, this is it. The tanks are all unsieged. There's no better moment to go. Right now. Right now. That's it. You no longer get to make a choice here. Oh, Young burrows for the fungal, and he does land some big ones on everything. Can the bios hit, though? The bio did take out the natural expansion, but a decent amount of the Zerg force still remains. But with the medevac support and the bio, is this going to be enough? I think the banelings can finally clean it up. The drones, they did burrow. They're alive at the northeast expansion. There is a Ling burrowed under this base, so he's not going to be able to take that easily. He just has 8 SCVs mining, period. This income tab, there's a reason I've kept it up, and it's because it's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Don't put 4 ghosts into a medevac with 15 health either. Or if you do, repair it. Please repair the med. Just get them out. Just unload. Just get them out. Look, it's got 15 health. I'm not trying to say that I know the game better than you. I'm not trying to say anything like that. I'm just saying it's been a long day. You need a little shoulder massage. I get it. You do that. I'll fix up your medevac. It's no biggie. The Overlord has decided he no longer wants to peep into that base. He's done. He's done with his life of staring at stuff. Now he just wants to come here and just let it all hang loose. I think that's what we're gonna see. Nope. No, he's just chilling there. I thought he was gonna dump creep. My bad. So we've got the Liberator trying to get a little siege up here, and I think pretty easy to just kill this with the bile, right? Just, oh, the Ravagers kind of ran away at the worst time there. That is unfortunate. So 3 drones die, but okay, yeah, that's okay. I think Dark kind of missed his opportunity there. That's little moves like that are going to open this game back up for Cure. I think he wants, at this point, you want to just neural parasite it and then make it hold position so you can drop biles on it. Assimilation complete. Oh, that's such a sad sound. Tentacle in my brain. Sometimes it'd be like that. You guys have never been mind controlled by a tendril coming from an alien monster that wants to eat you? No? Really? Big Overlord damage. Weirdly enough, we are in that phase of the game where I think individual Overlord kills are that big of a deal. Also, you cannot neural parasite loaded medevacs because the game doesn't really know how to handle that, apparently. I think Pig dropped that hot tip in a recent tournament. I don't feel like it was always that way. There were always like weird things with transports and mind control, but you could, you would maybe even want to just heal up your Zerg units with the medevac too, right? If you think about it, neural parasiting a bunch of medevacs actually could be a sick play if you were like, healing roaches or ultras. Units that die slowly over time. Of course, if you were doing that with your energy rather than simply fungling the medevacs or the bio, then that's why I'm not a Zerg player. That's why I'm not a Zerg player, because I look at that situation and my brain just goes to very dark, twisted places, whereas Dark doesn't. So really, it's just false advertising from his username more than anything else. Somehow this game is still going. This is game one. This is game one of the finals of the Korean Starleague this week. Good golly, Miss Molly, you sure like to ball. Shout out to the 2000s hit straight to DVD, straight to VHS. I don't think they played King Ralph in a movie theater, but I do like John Goodman, so, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. It's not very good, but it has John Goodman in it, so if you're bored and you miss that man, I'd recommend it. King Ralph. It sucks, but it's got John Goodman. So now the infestation pit is finally exposed. I was gonna say the tech is very, 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 very valuable at this stage of the game. Nobody has money. So even though there's no resources in the main or queens or drones, get the Ultra Cavern. Get the link, get the pool. Be like the opening scene of Armageddon. Get the book. Whatever you have to do, just do it. I feel like you want to just, like, Liberators. Am I crazy? He's still building Vikings. Is it just for the Vipers? Are there Vipers still? No. There's 106 Lings. And no anti-air. And no money. Am I really crazy for being like, wow, I guess Overlord hunting is also a pretty decent strat now that I think about it. But at the same time, Liberators. I would just love to see Liberators. I would love to see a lot of Liberators. I would love to know what he would do if 2 ranged Liberators showed up here and he scanned. He wouldn't be able to neural. Well, Nate, you're not the guy in the game that's gone 26 minutes long. I mean, his brain is probably deep fried right now. That's true. That's true. Deep fried in vegetable oil or animal tallow? Well, it's not 1969, so probably vegetable oil. That's fair. Oh, mind control? Did I miss it? What guy? He took something. Oh, he took the Viking. That was the Viking voice. It's kind of like a Nidus. When a unit gets mind controlled, it plays the assimilation successful or complete. It plays that sound effect to everybody, so everybody can hear it. Well, both players can hear it. Even if it's your unit that's being stolen and you no longer have vision of it, you'll hear that command. So, as a caster, as an observer of the game, we can also see it that way. Gets a scan, picks off an infestor. Somehow, Dark is able to get back into Vipers. Somehow, some way, Cure is maxed out. A big Ling counterattack is going to hit, but that base is kind of empty. All right, I'll try not to miss another Neural Parasite. My bad. I'm getting very excited about this game. Oh, look at that. 4 infestors just right there. They're just chilling. They're just chilling. They're just chilling. They're just chilling. Oh, the Viper just ran into the bio. Oh, the Lings get inside here. There's the Liberator. Okay. Love to see the Liberators. Some of the Banes get traded through. I would love to build a missile turret right here. That's where he needs it. Right there. Lings are going to try and run back around towards the other base. A couple of Lings ran into the army. Where are the infestors? There's still 5 of them. They're burrowed underneath. Looks like he's going to go for 1 fungal. Try to hit the biles onto the medevacs. And, oh! Okay, half of them gone. Lings have ripped apart the northeast base. Lings have almost ripped apart the southeast base. There's a decent amount of supply that has to be held there to defend it. But this is really the only actual base that Dark has. Oh, there's the scan. This could be it. This could be the moment. Pew, 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 pew. Snipes on a few of the Ravagers. The Fungals hit 2 of the Ghosts. And now he's realizing, yeah, they got to give this base up. There's just nothing left there. So in a crazy turn of events, one of the only reasons why Dark is in this game is because he couldn't take this base all game. Because this base right here got shut down so many times, he's like, I'm not mined out. I'm not mined out. I can actually keep going. Meanwhile, this base is gone. This base is gone. Main base is gone. 4th base, gone. Northeast corner base, that's it. And he's floating over to this top one too. Looks like there was a Neural Parasite on a Ghost, but a scan in time to stop it. And he just barely doesn't see those Lings here. So right as he tries to move out, those are going to come back. There's the Bile. Parasitic Bomb being dragged back over to hit the other air units. A difficult spot to be in. He's going to throw another Parasitic Bomb. But he doesn't actually have real anti-air. So the Parasitic Bomb is primarily going to make it so it's 1 Ravager hit to kill the libs instead of 3, which is still great. And if he gets enough energy for more Parasitic Bomb, then he can, you know, he can kill both of them with 1 shot now. So all the bases that are mining for him have been stopped, though. Get a bunker and a turret. You've got so much more supply. The only way he loses here is the base trade. And you notice there's no detection anywhere. He doesn't have any turrets at all. Period. And that breaks my little Terran heart. You guys know how much Nathanias loves missile turrets. The only way he can lose this game is if burrowed infestors get underneath him. It's just such a funky matchup. It really is. I don't know. Float your barracks to the north. Just reposition everything. Hunker down over those 2 bases for the rest of the game. Dark has no money. He is long distance mining from like 3 screens away. Okay. I got tired towards the end of that game. Okay, that was... Whew. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's go to game 2. Wow. Just casting a 30-minute game like that was... Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. That was intense. You could say we just went to work. In the bottom left, spawning as the Red Zerg player, trailing down 0-1 in this series, we have Dark. Facing off on Ancient Toilet against the blue Terran player in the northeast, Cure. Now, cistern is a synonym for toilet, so I'm legally allowed to say that. If you have a problem with that, make better maps. Thank you. Looks like we're going to have the Reaper opening. 2 barracks towards the front of the natural, right? He's going to be able to expand behind it. And on this map, you have a lot of room to run around. You've got the little Reaper cliff here. You can go around here, go around there, and then you can even jump down here. So if you're being chased by Lings, you have a couple different places that you can use to manipulate the terrain and be annoying. And what race is better at being annoying than Terran? The answer is none. I think Terran players would say that Protoss players are annoying, but have you ever been Widowmine dropped? Do you actually know what it's like? No. Terran players, they don't understand. They don't get it. Not like I do. I got to Master League with Protoss, and then I started playing a bunch of people who mind drop, and I realized playing Protoss sucks. So I stopped. You ever have you leave like 1 probe to get the mine, and then the splash damage blows it up? Yeah, no, I can't handle that. That's worse than watching like a 0 day till expiration spy call expire out of the money, you know, just flush money down the toilet. Even that is not as bad as the feeling of getting mine dropped. So Cure, with this build, we talk about it. You can go for the safe expand. You've got the wall off at the front. If we look at what Dark is doing, it's very standard. He's got just 1 drone on gas so that he can slowly work his way up to Ling speed, but he wants as much mineral income as possible. Why? So he can start his 3rd base before the Reapers arrive. Why? So he can defend his 3rd base, you dingus. If the hatchery starts faster, then that means by the time that the 3 Reapers are poking it, it's going to have more health. And if it has more health, then that means there's more time for the queens to get over there and try to push the Reapers away. So while he does this dance in the natural and tries to kill a Ling or 2 or a drone or a few, he will instead find that he has accomplished very little. And now he will go check the hatchery. He sees, oh, okay, it's been going for a little bit now. So in game 1, Dark did end up canceling that base, right? Or he wasn't really able to get it. He tried a few times. We've seen this build so many times today. I'm not even sure if that was this best of 3 because I just cast a 30-minute game in game 1. I don't even remember how that game started. It's already been flushed out of my brain trying to follow infestors neural parasiting ghosts and then those ghosts sniping the other ghosts, because that's not something I get to see very often. So you just have to forgive me. That being said, heck of a match, huh? Pretty good series. Nice back and forth. absolutely no idea how this one is going to go. These are the finals of the Korean Starleague. I believe week number 18 or 19 was this week. Big shout out to Chicken Man SC, Dave Testa, and all the fine folks making the KSL possible. Not to be confused with my old tournament series, the Kappa Starleague. Korean Starleague's got a little more flavor to it, a little more pizzazz, you could say, a little more jazz hands. And Dark hasn't made any steps towards tech yet. He's just been droning up. He's got a decent few lings. The map is big, and the 3 Reapers can be going between so many different points because of those cliffs that we talked about. There's not as many of them towards the north here, though. They're indicated by those blue lines. So that's on this map what tells you where Reapers can go. So if you know where these are and you use them correctly, then it's like looping a killer in Dead by Daylight. You just drag the lings. You get to this point where for them to get to you, they have to go so far around that you have, at that point, then multiple opportunities to escape. But typically you don't see the Reapers make it this long. This map just kind of facilitates it because of both the size and the number of cliffs. So it makes Dark have to respect him just a little bit more. On Ancient Cistern, the 3rd base becomes a little bit tougher. This 3rd location is very open. You have huge wide angles of attack from basically every direction. There's no choke points here to wall off. There's no choke points to block. So unless you want to build a wall a whole screen away from your command center, and then you need to make like, 2, maybe 3 of them, you're going to be doing a very aggressive build on this map. You want to keep your opponent defending, since that the wide open nature of it is going to make it a little bit more difficult to funnel those Zerglings in single file into Widow Mines or bunkers, tanks, Hellions, what have you. You just only have so many ways that you can really do it. So Banshee's going to come over to the 3rd base here. Goes right on by. The Overlord saw the Banshee and he sees, okay, well, sorry, that's the 4th base rather. But there is no Spore Crawler and the lair's not done yet. So Cure ends up getting a little bit of cheeky damage in here thanks to this Banshee. And this is the dream scenario. There's nothing else you want more than this. There's no Spore, there's no Overseer. You just want to keep shooting those drones until you run out of energy, and that is it. That is all you want, and it's gone very well. 11 drone kills. Yet has to use a transfuse on a drone, and then he gets another one anyway. Oh. Look at that shimmer, that shummershum, the shummershum. He has no idea. He has no idea where he is. Big pack of lings waiting outside the natural. Backstab opportunity is there, but the medevacs are actually going to fly by. So Cure, he should be able to see it. He should be aware. And 13 drone kills by that Banshee is just disgusting. Absolutely game-changing. Has Dark rebuilt all of those drones already? Yes. Could he have spent that larva on something else? Also yes. And now the Banshee's like, well, if you're just going to have lings out on the map, I'll kill those too. I'll use that to support my little droppy drop. We do not have Banelings. We do have a Baneling nest. We don't have Baneling speed. He's just going straight to an infestation pit with a burrow. Is Dark just going right back to where we were last game? Is that his plan? It's very different focus than game 1. I don't know if the Banshee pissed him off, but he's not going for the double Evo. We're not, okay, now he's got the second Evo with the pit. So he's going 1-2. And then I'm assuming we're going to have that hive start shortly, but with the Banshee here and poking in this regularly, Cure should be aware of when that happens. And Dark can't even afford to go for the hive, so I kind of take that back. It's an awkward spot. Like, yes, it's a lot of lings, but he's got medevacs. He's in a choke point. He's got 1-1 Marines. The lings do not have any attack upgrades yet. They are finishing literally right now. So the fight just got more even. But he already lost a lot. And that tank on the low ground is just filthy. Absolutely filthy. You'll notice I talked about how key to success for Cure is keeping Dark on his side of the map, not letting him use that open space and run those lings around. And so far, he's done a beautiful job of avoiding that scenario. He's going to load everything up and now go back to that main base. There is nothing here. Some lings are on their way, but keep in mind, no Bane speed. It is close. It's just not done yet. So a drop is going to hit the top, He's got a siege tank, bunch of Marines. Now there's this other drop in the main base. Tons of Marines, a few of the Reapers. He focuses down all the Banelings one by one. Every single Bane popped. And that is just absolutely filthy. Bane speed finishes, but he's already got what he came for. He's going to dip. The top expansion is also killed with the support of the Banshee. Now he's going to come back down, and that is it. GG. So Cure is going to go up 2-0 in this best of 5. I did get some dummy replays, but the number of them was not the maximum amount of games possible, so I apologize. Let's go to game 3. Let's see what happens. I've been enjoying this series quite a bit. All right, in the top left. Well, because they gave me 5 replays, but I thought it was best. I thought it escalated one more for the finals, so I wasn't 100% sure. Since I know that they sometimes mess with the schedule when they're running behind on time, and obviously they had a 30-minute game 1, so it wouldn't be the first time they turned it into a best of 3. So I was like, I don't think that's what they're doing here, but I think it is also possible that that is what they have done before. So that's why I'm not always 100% sure. The Korean Starleague is meant to be a way for Korean players to just make a couple extra bucks on the side and obviously provide great entertainment for those of you who tune in to support it. They are up on Challenge every week, KSL Weekly. If you want to reach out, if you want to support them, I know they take contributions on Matcherino and stuff. You can do the thing with the code where you just contribute a free buck just for signing up on their site or something like that. So always great to have causes and good people bringing each other together over the beautiful game we know as StarCraft. And what do we have here? One more time, baby. We've got the 2 racks. We've got the spawning pool and the gas. So it is not hatch first. It is not a fast command center. It's Cure basically saying, I don't care what y'all doing. I'm going to have vision. I'm going to give myself agency to get the damage done that I need and also the scouting that I need. So that's what I like. This, I don't know. Was he worried the SCV would finish on the other side? That's probably it. So you see he's going to go mine that and go get ready to build the expansion. But that's the beauty of this build. Pool first just doesn't really do much. You can commit to a Ravager all in, but I'm just not crazy about it. I'm not crazy about it. It worked against Gumiho once, really. It also worked against Gumiho's, it worked against his what? I'm suddenly forgetting. Oh yeah, I blew up his stim like twice and just made him move the whole wall back. But Cure has been a little bit more proactive with his Reapers. He hasn't really opened himself up to that big counter potential. So he throws the grenade to run behind the mineral line, sees the Roach Warren, sees the Roaches popping out. And this is big. He loses a Reaper. So when we talk about what makes the Reaper opening strong against Roaches, in that Gumiho match, we got to see, actually might have been on this map, we got to see the Reapers do a really good job of just pushing him back, and oh, he builds both add-ons, so there's nothing out here. I love the idea of the bunker up front so that you don't have to worry about getting biled down on your add-ons, but you do have to keep some units here to make that possible. And he's going to build a Marauder with Concussive Shell. I love it. If this bunker gets completed and he gets a Marauder with Concussive in there, holding this becomes a million times easier. So the Reaper can just kind of do the grenade boop, try and buy time. He just wants to poke, but he needs... Oh, there's no way that bunker's going to finish. Marauder's coming out. More SCVs are getting pulled. He needs to finish this bad boy up. Don't let the Reapers die. SCV. Oh, he's just got to take out the wrapping paper, and there he is. So you see that Marauder in there should help a ton. We know that when they turn into Ravagers, Roaches get back all their HP, though, so needs to maybe get a few more SCVs to repair. And once Concussive Shell is out, I think you just yeet the Marauder at the Ravager and use the slow tag to get the kill. That's what I have to assume the play becomes. But by building the bunker out here, this is what I really, really like. And I think that this is the answer to the Tech Lab issue. You build the bunker in an exposed area. Your opponent isn't massing speedlings, so you can't really work around this. You know, the Marauders, we don't get to talk about Marauders and bunkers very much, but bunkers do give units extra range. So Marauders have 7 range inside the bunker, which means they outrange Stalkers, they outrange Ravagers, they double outrange Roaches. So that's just like the ultimate, I don't feel like dying to your Ravager attack. And as a follow-up to the Reaper build, he's basically bulletproof, because Lings can't really get by the wall. You wouldn't really want to be doing Banelings against something like this. I mean, Banes could work with no Hellions or tanks, but it's like risky because the wall has a lot of HP. So yeah. What I'm trying to say is that Cure is he's put himself in a good spot. Look at this. He's gonna float that reactored barracks over too. He says, why not? Why not take a free Overlord? Why would I want to leave your Overlord in front of my base? Dark just went from knowing everything about where Cure's stuff was to knowing nothing. So where does he defend? His third base, very late on the south side. He's moving at the Marauders. He's moving at the Marines. Stim is only halfway done, though. I don't think I expect anything here. He's got a lot to defend. Like, concussive on exposed Ravagers could be the ticket, but he's got a lot of Speedlings coming, and there's, again, no Stim, no Medivacs. I think if you're Cure, I think you overextended. Dark probably wants to chase him down, but he's like nervous that there might be more behind it, so he's not. He's like respecting him. But all of this could have died. He could have surrounded and killed all of that, I think. If the Ravagers just chased immediately and the Lings tried to cut him off, then I think I could see it. Now Stim is done. That changes the game pretty heavily. Now the Banelings are really important. If this bio, if he saw him on the ramp. Hold the ramp. No, if he held the ramp and he got the Ravagers immediately, then I think that things get ugly. But now he has no bunker, and he has to fight in open space against mass Lings. That's what makes this really hard, and no Medivacs. So he steps forward. He cannot afford to stim. He cannot afford to stim again after this. So he has to just kind of take the fight right here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it, though. This is a tough spot. The SCVs are going to get pulled. Uh-oh. He stimmed again. Look how low these bio units are. These Marines are all dying in like one hit to the Ravagers, but he has the Marauders also. They can't all get away if he gets on top. He's got most of them down. Trimmed about half of them off, it looks like. Got 4 Ravagers. He's got 6 left, so close. Those bios, though. Look how low the Marines and Marauders are. No Medivacs, no heals. No Medivacs, no heals. It's a tough spot. Cure does have more SCVs. That's probably worth mentioning as well. So he can afford to bleed, but it's still a lot. Oh, there's the next stim. Okay, forces him in here. Gets 1, 2, 3, and there's 3 Ravagers left. That bile does not actually hit too much. The SCV is surprisingly good. Meat shield soaking in on this as the Marines are going to hold strong so far, continuing to step back, but there's only 1 Ravager left, and now the medics are out. And I think that should signal the end of this attack, which crazily enough ends with both players having, I was going to say same amount of workers, but he did just make a huge drone wave during that. So Dark just saturated, finished saturating his natural, and is now beginning to saturate the third base. So Cure had a huge economic advantage at the way that the openers played out, but eventually he had to pull so many SCVs to hold that attack. He economically handicapped himself, right? There's just not a whole lot that you can do in that situation. If he had kept the bunker up, I think it's a little bit easier, but he probably wasn't expecting that attack to hit the way that it did, because he's been the aggressor all match long. And Dark used to be the crazy aggro guy, but it seems as everybody around him improves, they're kind of joining him in the madness. So to me, this is a great read. He gets the Ravager, he gets the Queen. Roaches are starting to die. I mean, this might even be game if he gets enough drones. But he sees the timing of the lair finish. And yeah, there it is. There's the dive on the drones. He knows he's hurting for money. He's going to try and swiggity swooty his way on out of there. Medivac survives with 30 health. And there's another drop over here. The Marauders, 16, 17 and counting drones killed. This is where it becomes almost untenable for the Zerg. Like, There is a third command center that Cure has finished. He's shifted his production back towards his main. He does still have the wall, but it's not everything. And I think that this is just what makes it so difficult, because we were looking at it before. It was 50 SCVs to 38 drones. Then it was 50 drones to 38 SCVs. And now it's 52 SCVs to 48 drones. So everything that Dark has accomplished in the last 2 minutes has mostly just been trying to keep his drone count at 50. He hasn't been able to do much beyond that. And I think that's what makes this so difficult to stop, because Cure is not going to relent. Another drop is going to hit that base. He's got one on the south side still picking off the creep. And because he went for Concussive Shell Marauder this early, like his pickoff potential for these units is pretty huge. Don't think he was expecting this. Kind of had that unload queued up, but he's looking for the main base. 3 queens on their own. If I'm you, Cure, I'm just dropping directly onto the queens, but instead he'll go for the roaches. So maybe we should see a transfuse or two from Dark, trying to keep him alive. But I'd say get the queens, get rid of the anti-air, take the anti-air away, and then just fly everywhere. Because there's no good answer to this. There's no spore crawlers. He can't afford to build spore crawlers. There's hardly any queens. He can't even afford to rebuild all of his queens. And he's mostly just relying on the roaches as fodder to hold on. But I think we're going to see this attack from Dark. This could be game deciding, depending on where Cure's forces are. You notice that Cure does not extend himself to the third base. He just says, mine the third, keep everything at the natural. I'm okay with pulling back here if I have to do that, because I just don't want my tanks too exposed. And I get it. It does make sense. Because he knows that Dark is on low eco. He's aware of that as much as we are, so he doesn't feel the pressure to commit everything for his third base, because that would be the only way he loses, right? Really wide open third with multiple angles of attack and no choke points. That is the biggest thing with most of these maps. So you've seen Terran players adjust. They just don't commit to the third. They just don't commit to the third because there's no reason to. If he was behind economically, then it wouldn't really matter, right? So since the game is in a good place for him, he's been very patient about it. I would still love to see a bunker or two, because the run buys are certainly something that he has to worry about. But since he's already up 2-0, I get, you know, we can only be so nitpicky. Cure has played a great series thus far. I do have at least another replay or two here, so I don't know if it ends on this one. This could be where Dark starts to mount that comeback. And 5 tanks at home. You gotta love it. Keep the tanks at home, move everything else out in the drops. That is the way to do it. It's gonna pick off one morphing Ravager and then dip back. We got a double drop on the southwest. So going back to the multi-prong for Cure. That is always the biggest thing about the Ravager-based armies, is the anti-air is just very limited. Gets the queen, shuts down what was going to be a bunch of creep tumors he was trying to spread. I don't think he had the energy for it, but he was going for it. Sorry, I tried to click on this drop. I wasn't sure if it was going to move there. So he still has multiple drops out on the field, and for the first time, I feel like in this whole series, Dark actually has a 4th base mining. Isn't that a miracle? Feels like that's been the hardest thing ever for him this whole match at 4th base. And here's the big move out. All the tanks for Cure. He says, I'm maxed out. I got my 2-2. I'm coming for you, baby. I'm coming for you. He's got those drops. So he could try to hit him in the main. He can try to hit him in the third and push the 4th on the ground all at the same time. That is what makes this so difficult. Now, meanwhile, Dark's trying to set up a flank, so he wants to get behind the tanks. He wants to get behind the tanks. This isn't the 30-minute long game where we have infestors going for the underground neurals, or maybe it's a counterattack. His counters haven't worked very well, though, so I kind of like going for the swallow, and that's what it's going to be. Just dives everything onto this. All the Ravagers alive at the end of this fight. Very well done. Now the bio is going to be able to hit the northwest base, the southwest base. This one boosted but did not go in. You got about 5 drones and change. It's going to drop into the natural expansion while this drop hits the main base. There's no banelings here, so with the Marines unloading, he's starting to shoot through it, but there's a nice bile directly center. Gets 3 medevacs, few more. And you can see Dark doing everything he can to hold on. But that economy is just such a tough spot. Cure going for the 4th base. And once he gets this secured, then you're getting real nervous. Because Dark, he gets up to Hive, he gets adrenal glands. We see him get Vipers, but he's really been kept on the back foot all match long. Not even going to planetary the 4th base, by the way. He says, I want money, I want scans, I know where this is going. Look at that. Is my main mining out? All right, let's just float it over. Let's take another base. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do, baby. Big full army stim there. Drop inside of the main base here too. Going after some of the links, some of the drones, possibly the Hive under threat as well. The main army is going to take out the 5th base morphing up top. Double drop on the left side is going to take out the 3rd base. And as the units head over there, I'm expecting boost up, lift into the main base. This army's pretty exposed though. May just need to bail. Parasitic bomb onto the medevacs. He's going to try to peel that weakened one off. I'd say just unload everything and run, but he's going to load up the tanks and stutter step with the bio. That's also acceptable. That drop in the natural is going to get popped by the biles as well. That other drop inside of the main base is going for the spawning pool. Adrenal glands is so close. 3 seconds and the Marauders turn to shoot the lings. Wow. So he basically saves the upgrade with some sacrificial lings. A huge upgrade. I don't know that necessarily changes the course of this one, as it's, again, very scrappy. But now the lings have adrenal. They attack. That upgrade makes lings attack like 50% faster, right? Or like 65%. It's crazy. They become very dangerous. You do not want fully upgraded lings getting on you. So the bio comes back to the 3rd base once again. Is also going to shut down the creep tumor. And this is why in that earlier game we were talking about the infestors being so crucial, because there's just no anti-air. There is nothing here that can kill the medevacs. So if you're Cure, you just keep lifting up, running around. I mean, the biles can kill them, but you have to stand still for 3 whole seconds for those to connect. So it's kind of on you, really. But he just doesn't have an answer to the drops. Cure just keeps hitting him from every which way over and over. The parasitic bomb is the only thing he's really had to deter the medevacs, but it's the most expensive energy for Zerg, right? It's your Ravagers. Oh, there you go. Dark is pretty good at hitting people with those, and now he floats the main base to this corner base, so he's got a ton more money coming in. And look at this army from Cure, just disgusting. He's doing so much macro behind the non-stop, endless deluge of medevacs hitting him. And the medevac on patrol is even baiting me as the observer. So he says, look, you don't have anti-air. I'm just going to send Vikings. I'm going to kill your overlords. I'm going to kill everything else. Siege up the tanks outside of your base. And there it is. He doesn't even take the final fight. Gee. And Cure takes a 3-0 victory. Beautifully done.